It's not moving. Maybe it's not even alive.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order a regular scheduled meeting, Elk Grove Park District on December 12th, 2024. Francis, could I get a roll call?
President Walls?
I'm here.
Commissioner Biecki?
Here.
Commissioner Carlson?
Here.
Commissioner Cook?
Here.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Here.
Okay, public hearing for issuance of $2.5 million general obligation limited tax bonds for the park purposes. And I think you have in front of you what I'm about to read. The next agenda item for Board of Park Commissioners is a public hearing pursuant to the provisions of a Bond Issue Notification Act to receive public comments on the proposal to sell not to exceed $2.5 million general obligation limited tax park bonds. May I have a motion to proceed with the public hearing and continue other business of the regular meeting upon conclusion thereof?
So moved. Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we open the public hearing and continue with other business of the regular meeting upon conclusion of the public hearing. Francis, could I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Biecki?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. The reasons for the proposed issuance of the bonds are for the payment of land condemned or purchased for parks for building, maintaining, improving, and protecting of the same and the existing land and facilities of the district, and for the payment of expenses incident thereto. Do any commissioners wish to make any comments regarding the proposed bond issue?
No.
Seeing none, do any commissioners wish to submit any written testimony concerning the proposed issuance of bonds?
No.
Does any other public wish to present oral testimony or any public comments concerning proposed issuance of bonds? Hearing none, does any of the public wish to present written testimony with respect to the proposed issuance of the bonds? Okay, all persons desiring to be heard have been given an opportunity to present oral and written testimony with respect to the proposed issuance of Park District improvement bonds. May I please have a motion to finally adjourn this hearing?
I move to finally adjourn the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the public hearing finally be adjourned. Please call the roll, Francis.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Biecki?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. The motion is carried and the hearing is finally adjourned. We will now proceed to the next agenda, which is Approval of minutes, November 14th, 2024, Committee of the Whole meeting, November 14th, 2024, regular scheduled meeting, and the December 5th, 2024, special meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No one is opposed.
President Walls, can I ask Ben a question, though, to make sure we're on the same page?
Yep.
Brad, on the second page of the committee of the whole, when you're talking about the paid leave ordinance, the third sentence says, as the ordinance is currently written, part-time employees would be eligible for 1 hour of sick time for every 40 hours worked. Is it really sick time or is it personal time off? They don't have to say it's sick time, do they? They don't have to tell you anything. So I'm on third sentence.
Yeah,
Yeah, that should be paid leave, yes, we can make that correction. So I'll move, change sick to paid leave.
And then, you're good? I want to circle back. So on the agenda, 4C was a special meeting. That was the, going through
The budget.
budget, right? So every year, right around this time, we go through the budget, line by line by line, and I mean lines, like pencils, every line. It's what, about 4.5, 5 hour meeting? Yeah, so, just specials seem to be like a little misleading. I know why we did it, but just to let you know. Public communication, comments from the audience.
Nope, you need to,
What did I do?
you need your votes.
no,
Did I do the voice for Francis?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I missed that, sorry.
Yeah.
No worries. Public communications, anybody? Mr. Lavin?
David Bill Lavin, Elk Grove Village resident. I still would like a specific reason that we're spending $345,000 to buy stadium lights for the area.
Anybody?
Well, my first comment is because that's how much lights cost. And so you divide it by 20 to 25 years on what the lights are gonna be there for, and you're spending 10 to 15,000 per year because that's an amenity that the community has told the commissioners that they want. The majority of the residents have told the commissioners they'd like lighting for security, for extended play, police patrol, whatever. We agreed with the community, that's the price of lights. So if it was 200,000, we'd pay 200,000. If it was 600, we'd pay 600. But we came together as a board and said, we feel lights are important at Marshall Field. So to me, the price is the price, and I don't look at it as a one-time payment. I look for it to be amortized over the lifetime of the lights, the lifetime of the park. We don't do that with the playground equipment, say, why are you guys spending $1 million on playground equipment this year? Because we expect it to last 20, 25 years. We expect parking lots to last, the bathrooms, anything we do, the infrastructure, the water mains. We don't look at it as a one-year, one-time expense. We look at it as that is the price it takes to make it a whole. And so the lights are just part of making that park a whole. So that's my answer on why are you spending $345,000? That's mine.
One thing, Mr. Lavin, I just want to say, I know the project was more than $345,000, what you mentioned, but the lights were actually $245,000, not $345,000.
Well, we also had a period of time when they were deconstructing the building for 2 weeks. The electrical company was out there trying to make those 40-year-old lights from the school, or even longer than that, work, or haven't worked in my time there. And I haven't added that into the $345,000, I don't know if it's there. Also, then you've got the lights for the park area.
Yeah, that was not on our dime.
that's a village.
We didn't own that
The
property.
village went in there? No, this was after, yes, this was when the deconstruction of the building was
Village did
occurring.
that.
Okay.
Electrical contractors came in there and they ran wires to the old lighting fixtures that were in the parking lot. They didn't succeed, they gave up and walked away. And then I wanted to question if that money was in that $345,000 that you're spending.
245, you mean? We weren't, well, let's put it this way, we were not gonna use the lights that have been on that property for over 35 years. It would not have been cost conducive for us.
Well, just for your information, for 2 weeks, somebody was out there working, but to be specific, if you're gonna use it for security, why do you need 65-foot stadium lights? If you're gonna use it for practice, I come up with at most 300 hours, and I'm being as generous as I can. And I think that price tag is extreme. It's extreme.
But I also didn't say it was just for security. I also said it was for extended play.
Right.
So that when it is dusk, people can play 3 to 4 hours
And
longer.
this park board is willing to spend $345,000 to go in.
I will keep saying, because I don't want the
I'm
public
using
to
the
miss
word
it.
park, which I shouldn't.
No.
Now are we making it into a community athletic field?
No, what I'm saying is, I just want to make sure that the public is aware, the lights for the soccer and the pickleball will total 245,000. I know you're saying 345 and you got there in a different way. I just don't want the public to hear, hey, they spent 345,000 when we did, because that's like 30% higher than what we did.
Originally, it was 335, and then it went up to 345. I do not know, but this was the money that was given to the contractor, Muska Lighting.
Okay.
So someplace there's $100,000 missing there, I guess. you're saying.
No, there's no $100,000 missing, Mr. Lavin.
Someplace in these minutes, I could show you that you commented the fact that now we're rescinding the original contract of $335,000, and we voted, or the board voted on $345,000. And again, I think, personally, my opinion, that is extreme to have perhaps 300 hours worth of extended athletic practice
Times 20.
Per year.
per year.
Okay. And I don't know if it's gonna end up to be 300 hours, you know? I don't know how often people are gonna play pickleball from September all the way until November if it's nice weather. I don't know what they're gonna play in the spring until the hours change. I don't know what the schedule is for soccer. But at the same time, again, I told you, to me, it's not the price, and you're making it seem like this board decided. I personally decided after I talked to the majority of the residents. I tried to get their feel. Unfortunately, you're in the minority that don't want the lights, while the majority want the lights. So my direction is to go towards lights.
The pickleball lights and the stadium lights, because pickleball lights and stadium lights are, I guess, are you gonna put them up at 65 feet?
So, I just
So
want to
it'd
be,
more like the.
I want to be
parking lot
clear. Your first sentences were about the price, and now it's about
Right.
the height. So I can address the height, okay? And I've said this numerous times. The lighting technology they have today, Mr. Lavin, you are going to be amazed when you don't see any lights in your backyard. You're not going to. It literally is a pinpoint shoebox over the soccer field.
I guess to interrupt you, I'm dancing to the fact that the precedence of the park district was dawn to dusk. This has gone for a long time.
Well-
Dawn to dusk. Even when the park district was run by the village, it was dawn to dusk.
You're not gonna wanna hear this, Mr. Lavin, but I'm telling you, the park district has moved forward on this months ago, and we're not going back. I appreciate your efforts, I do, and I understand what you're asking, but any answers I have for you is not gonna change this board or staff's mind. We're already in contracts already.
Then I guess I'm following through is exactly what is the purpose? I mean, will be.
To light the soccer field.
Athletic field till 9 o'clock, and then later down the road, it's gonna be 10:30.
How would it be 10 or 10:30, Mr. Lavin? It's not. The village has put a cap on us till 9 o'clock, which I will explain to you in August and September. The sun's up till 10:15, so you're not gonna have lights in the summer. So realistically, we are looking at about maybe 110 days. And that's Saturday and Sunday, which we're not gonna do. I'm just explaining, it's nowhere near as bad as you're making it out to be, but agreed, we don't know yet. But I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
I am disappointed because if we could plant 65-foot steel towers to put lights on it, and they will look like the community athletic fields, they will look like Lions Field when I look over there, but I don't see any trees. You know, and you
Well,
had the discussion, you don't plant the trees in the fall, but that is the time of the year to plant trees. That field is barren, and we will be looking at 65-foot towers, whether they're lighted or not.
I appreciate your comments, Mr. Lavin.
Well, the last thing too is you keep setting precedent. To me, you talk about it's always been dusk till dawn. But even when I was a child, Lions Field was lit up, Community Athletic Field was lit up. We take Audubon Park and we add lights for the skating park. Over at the Sheila Ray Center, we added some particular lighting. As the town grows and the amenities grow and the characteristics that you're trying to appeal to so many different demographic bases, there comes a point that we continue to grow. And if that means the community gets more engaged by using our parks and our playgrounds and our amenities because we add lights, to me, that's a positive, not a negative. It's a negative for maybe a small segment of the population that lives there. But again, it's a public park. It was a school. And I think the positives outweigh the negatives. But it hasn't been precedent that we've never had lights at any of our fields.
So we're moving on from the park and we're making it a community athletic.
Those are those are your words.
Yeah,
It's a
if that's
park.
what you-
It's called Marshall Park and it's gonna have soccer, just like a lot of our fields have soccer, just like that location had
So
soccer.
moving forward into the future, we could look at this board saying, we've got 40-plus parks, we're gonna light them all up.
No, that's not the case.
I mean, Audubon, two beautiful athletic, baseball fields. That's a perfect place for some lights. I mean, they've got scoreboards, it's beautiful.
I can't tell if you're being
People that live
sarcastic
around
or
there
not.
Gonna be there. I mean, the people from Mead, it was on the budget for 2025, you were gonna light it up. And I mean, I'll let it go, but please, our original conversations many years ago, in that room over there, when you hosted the meeting to show us the new equipment you were gonna put in on the south side play lot at Marshall Park. You wanted lights, you approached me with lights. I can't believe that. We wanted to get the athletics fields out of the neighborhood parks. and
I would love to have said yes to that, but that physically doesn't work for us. That field is specific for a soccer field. It's been a soccer field, Mr. Levin, since the early
I
'70s.
do not
And I will
disagree.
remind you, there were lights there. You
There
weren't,
was
you were not,
Security light there.
it wasn't
Security
security,
light.
sir. The security lights were on the building, and we don't have to hash it out. Just I promise it was there. And they use it for soccer.
I don't agree with you.
So,
The township
I-
came in and
I
built the
appreciate
whole
your
area.
comments, and I appreciate your concerns. But until we get the final product, I'd say let's just wait and see.
The final product is laying in the field right now, and it looks pretty
Yeah.
big court.
Yes, it
So
is.
Lay it down, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Sure, come on up. You don't have to do address anymore, just your name.
Okay, my name is Mark Lorch. Been a lifelong resident of Elk Grove Village. I grew up here. My kids went to Elk Grove High School. My wife worked at the high school for 15 years. My son was a counselor while in high school and during the summer over when he was at college. And so we have a vested interest in the community. Recently retired and was fortunate enough to be hired as a full-time employee over at the driving range in 2023. When I was hired, I was given the IMRF employee usage benefits, what employees are entitled to, and that's why I'm here this evening. I would like to address the benefits that are allocated to non-IMRF employees and the fact that we revoked our access from the period when the range was closed, as of this year was November 1st. And I spoke with Brad about this last week. Again, not sure how many seasonal employees work more than the time that we're at the range. Range is basically 9 months, okay, from March to November. And as of our last paycheck, which was November 15th, our privileges to the pavilion, pickleball was revoked. When you look at it, and it affected a minimal amount of employees that work at the range and maybe at the golf course. Now, according to Alex, the golf course officially closed this past week. So it seems that for the small, the 3-month window that we get our privileges revoked, it just seems a little out of sorts. Again, I use the pavilion when I can. I know a couple of the other guys they play pickleball indoors, and now they gotta pay to play. So in that regards, I'm speaking to that. Now, I would also like to address the summer benefits that are allocated to the non-IMRF employees. Mostly as it relates to Pirates Cove, Rainbow Falls, and even the Pavilion Aquatics and the Jumps and Jiggles. As a senior, the privileges really don't apply to myself. I'm not gonna go to Rainbow Falls, myself and my wife. Okay, there's too many kids. But I would like to take my kids and my grandkids. okay? And it would be a good service if you guys would offer a modification to the eligibility to include kids and grandkids maybe up to a certain age, like 12 or 13. And again, it's not an abuse of the facilities, it's just something to do on a nice summer evening, summer day. So that's sort of why I'm here. And also, we're on Bamboo, okay? We signed up for that that was sort of a directive from the Park District. And, we receive emails and whatnot about health stuff and attending certain things. And it's a bit ironic that they would promote this stuff while off-season, we technically can't attend because our privileges are revoked. We don't have access, technically. And we've also attended some training. Again, it was separate from, I think, most people because of the driving range hours. And we would go in January. I think last year we went to CPR training in January. Well, technically, we shouldn't have got paid for it because we weren't employees. So, I can't speak for all the seasonal employees that work for the Park District, but I'm just sort of addressing the driving range and even the golf course, the Rangers. Most of those guys, at least the Rangers, are over 60 years old. They're old.
You're being generous.
And even the guys at the driving range. I'm probably the youngest guy there, and I'm 64.
Right.
So, again, I'm just asking you guys to look at modifying the eligibility, at least in the summertime, to extend it to kids and grandkids. And again, you can determine the age restriction that you want to do, but it's just something that, would go a long way towards us. I mean, it's not like we would go 5 days a week. It would be, maybe once a month or something. And again, and one more thing, when I first got hired, my wife had eligibility, not to the pavilion, but to the water, to the aquatics. And
No, it was,
pavilion for a while, and then it got taken away. And then she was able to go to the aquatics part. It's got taken away. They offered half off membership, and then that too got taken away. So I'm just here to address this with you guys. Again, I'm not sure what can be done about it, but I just wanted you guys to be aware that, you're looking at a minority of people that would take advantage of the things that I had offered.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sir?
My name is Tim Swift. I'm with the driving range also. Before we came, I just mathematically figured out, if you took my hours I worked and the cost of the Pavilion Health Club, which I only play pickleball, it comes to like 30 cents an hour. So it's really not a number that's scary for the Park District to keep us going all year when we can use the facility. So other than that, that's it.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Any correspondence?
Yeah, how do we think we would address it? Will we talk as a board so they know the
Yeah.
direction we're gonna go
We'll have
and
to
then
get,
give
yeah,
them
we'll get
some
back to
answer?
them.
Or
You signed in, both signed in, right? Is there email addresses there?
Bill knows my
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
It's
they
just
email- they
easier for
email
us to
Brad.
contact you,
Sure.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
We have their contact information.
Yeah, oh, that's true, you're an employee. Fair enough. Okay. Any correspondence? No. Comments by any commissioners? Anyone?
I just want to commend staff for the decorating. This year is probably the best, and actually it's better than across the street.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It's better than across the street. Ours.
That way, right, east?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Every night when I drive by, people are coming, just parking and walking through.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a tourist destination.
You see cars take the loop, Beisterfield, and then they get behind the library and the police station and work their way around. Yeah, I would agree 100% on that. It looks awesome. Anybody else? Okay, Recommendations for acceptance of approval of 2025 budget as presented at the December 5th, 2024 special meeting. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. Approval of minutes manual updating sections 3.1 through 3.4 of time off benefits to accommodate the Cook County paid leave ordinance. Any questions or comments on this one? Okay, motion and a second.
So moved.
Way to go, Scott.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes, approval of permanent transfer of not to exceed 1.75, or I should do that right, $1,750,000 from the corporate fund to the capital fund to be used for capital improvement purposes. Said transfer to be effective as the end of the fiscal year, 12/31/2024, pursuant to the authority of the Article 5.-1 of the Illinois Park District Code. Motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. Approval of transfer of anticipated unexpected funds between line items of the corporate fund in the amount sufficient to cover estimated unforeseen expenses and the transferee line item.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. Approval.
John?
Yes, sir.
As D through G are all pretty much the same. Brad, I don't remember really seeing any of these type of approvals of unexpended funds, especially as it breaks down into the details. Has it always been like this, or is this something special?
No, we've done it the last couple of years. This is.
To the extent that we're doing it now with all four? Golf
Last year
course,
it was
recreation
three.
fund, museum?
Last year was 3, I think.
Okay.
With some of the volatility and some of the expenses, the last couple of years, it's been a little more prevalent. I think as prices start to stabilize, we should be able to move away from this in the future.
What would happen if it was not approved? Are we still allowed to use the funds?
We need to, as long as we're staying under our appropriation, we're fine. This is for line items D through G, or D through F, are unbudgeted funds. Basically, we went over budget, for example, in the utilities fund in a couple of areas.
Okay.
These funds, that's the majority of it, with the spike in utilities. We went over our budgeted amount. This is just, we have some excess budgeted dollars in contractual or supplies, for example, that we are,
To come
you
over.
guys are authorizing to move to cover that overage in that line item.
Okay.
So all these, we're under our legal spending authority. It's just a housekeeping matter.
Okay. Francis, I'm on E, right?
We're on E.
Approval of transfer of anticipated unexpected funds between line items in the recreation fund in the amount of sufficient to cover estimated unforeseen expenses in the transferee line item.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. Approval of transfer anticipated unexpected funds between line items in the golf fund in the amount of sufficient to cover to cover estimated unforeseen expenses in the transferee line item.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes, we have one more. Approval transfer of anticipated unexpanded appropriated funds between line items in the museum fund in the amount sufficient to cover estimated unforeseen expenses in the transferee line item.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes, okay, now we get to the normal ones here. Approval of pay request from WT Group of Hoffman Estates, Illinois for the ADA Transition Plan Project in the amount of $2,862.50.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi,
Yes.
President Wallace.
Yes, approval of payment, application number 5 from Train of Willbrook, Illinois for the Pavilion Building Management System Project in the amount of $25,007.64.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi,
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
President Wallace.
Yes, approval of pay request from Midwest Field Solutions of Elk Grove Village, Illinois for the Mead Park Home Run Fence Project in the amount of $31,949.79.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi,
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
President Wallace.
All right, 2 more. Promise. Approval of payment application number 11 for Hacienda Landscaping, Inc. of Manuka, Illinois for the Marshall Park redevelopment project in the amount of $135,518.67.
So moved.
Second with a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Any contingency left after this? Or is this in?
This is the
it
final
then?
pay.
All right. And you've done your final walkthrough with all staff over everything minor,
Yeah, I've been working with Upland Design to do the punch list. Everything is closed out with the exception of a couple of items that can't be done until the spring, but it's completed.
Is everything under warranty if we make it to March in a brutal winter
Yes.
that we see or anything that they're coming back out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Did I get a roll call on that?
No.
Do we have a motion in a second?
Yes.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Bianchi,
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
President Wallace.
Yes, approval payment application from number 1 from Evans and Son Blacktop of West Chicago, Illinois for the Marshall Park pickleball project in the amount of $8,957.90. Motion second.
So moved.
Second?
Can you explain what this was? I know we talked, or we mentioned it today.
Yeah, this is, kind of came in earlier this week. It's basically a deposit to secure the pricing for the pickle glass and to secure the project's place on the production schedule up at their plant. So just verifying with Evans and Sons that the payment has been made, talking with Pickle Tile, they received the payment, we're on the schedule, we're good to go.
Any other questions or comments?
Can you kind of review that schedule? Because I know we originally were hoping that some of it would begin this fall, and it didn't. So I guess kind of go over the schedule, and I guess the second part is, for some reason, if there's any problems with them not starting the project in the spring per the schedule, this down payment, are we paying the pickleball owners, or are we reimbursing, who's the money going to?
We're, Evans and Son is our contractor, so we're reimbursing Evans and Son. They're the ones that put together the payout. I've been in contact with Pickle Tile to verify that they have the check, and they do. So we're just following through on that initial pay application. Fairly normal for any project.
It's normal when the project's ongoing and we're working through it. Here, we're paying it now, and they're not gonna start until spring.
Right, but it's getting ahead of it because the production time of, I think he said 6 to 10 weeks of production. It's a pretty big project, so they want to get it going as soon as possible. Evans and Son, I have a,
But they're the ones that didn't start it in the fall now,
right,
correct?
correct.
So we're
Yeah.
advancing this money, and let's say they don't, for some reason, don't execute it in the spring.
Well, we have a performance bond, and
Okay.
and I'd hate to go that direction, but that's why we have it in case we need to.
That would protect us in case.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Motion and a second? Okay, roll call,
Yep.
please.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Hard no.
Commissioner
So a no
Bianchi?
plus.
No.
President Walz?
Yes. Capital projects, Commissioner Cook.
Can we have, Mark, do you have when the schedule, the rough schedule of when that's gonna start?
I do.
Could you kind of tell us, let us know?
Yeah, I was gonna provide that during my updates, but, yeah, this week I talked to Evans and Sons quite a bit, actually, and I was able to get the schedule. I can share this with you guys. Right now, the plan is to start in the beginning of March of 2025, and they have the project being completed as of April 30th. So again, that's weather permitting. I think we're getting out in front of it. Ideally, we would have started already. I'm very frustrated, and I voiced that with them, but this is what they came up with. A lot of the delay was based on projects that they were trying to wrap up at the end of the season, and were backlogged due to weather and other reasons.
Okay, thank you.
And correct me if I'm wrong, did I hear you correctly? This $8,900, we're paying it to Evans and Sons, but they've already paid the manufacturer that same amount, right?
Yeah.
So we're securing with the manufacturer of the product. So Evans and Sons, I mean, we're covered. We're covered with the manufacturer.
Right.
He got paid, so now he can start and put our big list, okay. Thank you. Capital projects, Commissioner Cook?
Yes, we met, as you mentioned earlier, on December 5th and had a detailed meeting to go over the budget for next year. I want to go through our capitals that we have planned. Kind of the breakdown overall, first of all, for parks, we're budgeting $817,000. Facilities, $1,109,093. For fleet and equipment, $230,784. Technology, $177,050. Fox Run, $418,221. Marketing, $53,000. Paving and lighting, $89,200. And ADA, $730,000 for a grand total of $3,624,348 for next year capitals. Kind of going through here, I'm gonna wanna go through and let you know what we're gonna be doing next year. Autobahn Park, tennis courts are being renovated and drinking fountains replaced. Community athletic fields, soccer goal replacements, and Musco lighting controls will be added. Lions Park, they're replacing existing bleachers with new 3-row bleachers. Mead Park, same thing, replacing 6 bleachers with new 3-row bleachers. Fountain Square Park, they're replacing the existing equipment in the park that's 18 years old. And also, we're looking at a possible miniature golf or putting green there through the foundation. And we're looking at that project at Fountain Square also. Playground equipment at Roosevelt Park, 2 to 5 year age group for the playground at the Roosevelt Park. And possible enclosure for toilet replacement. Udall Park, replacing existing equipment that's 18 years old. Windermere Park, they're replacing 2 basketball equipment at the Windermere. Clark softball fields, renovating the fields, including grading and perimeter infield. Heffern Park, renovating the ball field there as well. Al Haddendorf Center, several items there for $92,650. Pavilion, general interior, $180,000 for fire replacement system that we had to approve through village upgrades requiring it. Exterior door for $23,000. Carousel parts for $19,000. Staff common area and front desk, $62,355. Pavilion Fieldhouse painting, $22,000. Cleaning equipment, $11,845. Fitness equipment upgrades of $111,000. I'm sorry, $139,000 for pavilion equipment upgrades. The Pavilion Pack Center, new customer service window and offices. Therapy pool filter pump replacement, $55,000. Indoor lap pool, therapy pool upgrades, $36,600. Therapy pool, new UV system, $55,000. Therapy pool painting, $8,700. Outdoor lap pool painting, $22,000. And outdoor lap pool lift station rebuild, $29,964. So total at the pavilion is $217,264. Rainbow Falls, new bathhouse hot water heater replacement, $47,000. Funhouse sand filter replacement, $5,800. Leisure pool filter pump and pipe replacement, $72,000. Leisure pool surge tank, Lincoln seal replacements, $35,000. Leisure pool slide, cracked pipe replacement, $23,000. River link seal replacements, $30,000. Lift station rebuild, $17,286. Rope and ballad replacements, $17,000. Water pressure replacements, $7,755. Tube replacements of $7,000. Total at Rainbow Falls of $262,355. Over at the Lively parking lot, they're replacing swing gates for $15,000. Then we go to Fox Run, cart path replacement, $30,000. Pond dredging permitting, $10,000. A&E fees, looking at stream bank stabilization of $10,000. Stabilization permitting, $48,750. Driving range replacement, the machine picking up the balls, $21,500. Equipment replacement purchases there of water treatment system of $120,000. Utility carts of $52,000. Ranger carts, $19,120. Front loader, $52,000. And a triplex mower for $54,851. So Fox Run, total of $418,220. Community athletic field, signage, entrance signage, $25,000. Pavilion fitness, wall graphics, $88,000. We got fleet vehicle equipment purchases, 3 vehicles totaling $186,737. Other equipment, chipper box, replacement, John Deere Horvax tractor replacement, plow replacement, Tommy Gate aluminum lift gates, 2 Honda generators, and a trailer with hot power washer. Total equipment there is $44,047. So total fleet budget of $230,784. We're getting there, we're almost done here. Technology upgrades, we have a total of, I'm not gonna break it all down, but $177,050. Parking lot, repair, replace at CAF, $2,500, Fountain Square, seal coating, $1,900, Huntington Chase parking lot, $2,000, Homestead Park repairs, $1,000, Udall Park, $5,600, Pavilion parking lot, seal coat, $16,500, Al Haddendorf lighting upgrade, $15,000, and seal coat replacement there, $6,000. Pirates Cove asphalt repairs, $15,000, and the concession station seal coating, $1,500. Lively parking lot, $2,950 in seal coating. Fox Run Golf Course seal coating for $19,300. And then we have ADA park facility upgrades, Fountain Square Playground replacement, ADA accessible, $60,000. Roosevelt Park Playground Equipment ADA accessible of $50,000. Udall Park Playground replacement ADA accessible, $25,000. And then also a multi-use turf ball field of $500,000.
Wiffle ball.
Wiffle ball, yeah, wiffle ball, turf, multi-use. That one is in the budget. We're still haven't finalized what might be there, or what the exact details of that will be. But we did a placeholder of $500,000 in the budget. And then ADA transition plan, $95,000. So that is our total items of budgeting for next year. It would be another busy year, keeping our parks the premier that they are today. Any
Thank
questions
you,
on that?
Commissioner.
That is my longest report ever.
Yes, you're getting paid by the word or?
Get paid by the word,
what?
yes, thank you.
Finance Committee, Commissioner Carlson, you're on the clock.
Corporate fund. All expense categories are under budget except utilities. Year-to-date of $2,251,949 compared to a budget of $1,703,678. Recreation fund, fees and admission, $2,601,083 compared to a budget of $2,524,561. Program fees were $2,466,637 compared to a budget of $2,581,258. All expense categories are under budget except for utilities and contractual. Year-to-date of $907,664 compared to a budget of $176,983. Brad, what's kind of it's a huge difference?
Salary and wages is lower, and then the big thing was the fees and admissions is higher in different areas. Those are the main contributions. We do have some savings in some capital projects that were budgeted out of the rec fund as well.
Okay. The golf fund, 1,349 rounds were played in November, 44,272 rounds year-to-date, so that's kind of, now we're close, so that would be the...
Yeah, I was gonna pull up December. I know we had some in December, but not a lot.
Fees and admissions, $1,637,738 compared to $1,300,141. Categories of salaries and wages and supplies are slightly over budget due to increased revenue. Driving range year-to-date of $169,604 compared to a budget of $114,383. So we had a lot more people than we expected.
Yeah, revenue was up. Expenses were up as well, but it's good. We still have to pay rent, yeah, out of that as well.
And they get what, 25%?
25% of net proceeds,
Net or gross?
net.
Net, okay.
They do well.
Year-to-date of $607,304 compared to a budget of negative $94,884. Capital projects that have been budgeted in golf fund are affecting overall year-to-date numbers, with $537,760 budgeted year-to-date, but only $288,176 spent year-to-date, contributing to a variance of $242,584 in actual versus budget. And that would be,
I mean, driving range with fees and admissions, and then food and beverage, all categories are up, basically.
that concludes.
Any questions for Commissioner Carlson? Okay, Committee of the Whole is myself. We did not have a Committee of the Whole this week, today. We did have one a couple weeks ago where we discussed the employee health insurance. I think most businesses, and we were included, had done pretty well on insurance increases over the last 3 to 5 years. And nobody did really well this year. We got hammered with a huge increase, and we weren't the only ones, so. We also talked about field rental fees. We talked about the Cook County Paid Leave Act, if you're watching the news. the Cook County Board has decided that they're going to tell us more rules that we need to do, and it's gonna cost us a couple more dollars, and then I'm being generous. Fuel rental fees, and then we talked about Elk Grove football and their football helmets. We kind of worked out a deal. Scott, you want to talk about it? But we kind of worked out a deal where we're going to front them some money to buy helmets, and then they're going to take us and pay us back within a 4-year period, I think it was. 4-year period. These are probably the safe, well, they'll tell you they're the safest helmets on the market, and I didn't have a problem with it whatsoever. I think it could be a marketing tool even for the football program. And they have done a great job. Their board and president last few years has grown that program that nobody thought they could. So, any questions on any of these or comments? Yeah. Okay. Athletic committee.
Yeah, you already took what I was gonna talk about.
Sorry, buddy. All right, athletic committee, Commissioner Carlson.
Yeah, you already took what I was gonna talk about.
That's all you had?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Golf course committee, Commissioner O'Malley.
The golf course committee did not meet. I did speak with Alex. Scott and I and the rest of the committee will meet sometime in January. A couple items I'd like to talk about is during our budget meeting, Commissioner Cook challenged the golf course to start opening up their facility during the 5 off months of golfing, with being creative and working with marketing. And for example, one of the things that the Park District has been doing, certainly at the golf course, is introducing bands. It started last year. This coming Saturday, which I believe is the 14th, we have Rock of Ages, so that from 7 to 10 o'clock, Rock of Ages will be there. December 23rd, the Rob Post Band is playing at the golf course. They've got a band scheduled for January, February, March. So we're trying to get people to be introduced to the golf course itself. It's an $8-9 million facility. We don't want it just for golf. We've got the 5 gaming machines there. We have 3 simulators that are playing. We have bags leagues on Wednesday and Thursday that attract up to 80 to 100 people every Wednesday and Thursday night. Tom's trying to get the staff to introduce some kind of specials for the football games, the playoffs. We do want people to go out there. We want them to think during the months of October all the way to March. You're welcome there. There's different things. There's 20 different TVs. So we're continuing to brainstorm on what we can do to make that building more valuable to us in the off months of golf. And that's all I have.
Any questions? Youth committee, Commissioner Biedke.
No report.
Adult center committee, Commissioner Cook.
Yes, by now you should have all received your winter brochure in the mail. Hopefully, everybody got one. And I just wanted to point out, the Sheila Ray Center, Adult Center is doing great. They had 22 new members in October, bringing their total up to 346 members. And just for those that maybe aren't familiar with Sheila Ray, I just want to go over some of the things that they have in your daily activities and throughout if you buy a membership there. It's $30 for resident rate for the entire year. But they have bingo, they offer ceramic classes, group craft courses, poker nights, they have bags, bunco, chair exercises, pinochle, quilting, Wii bowling, billiards, dominoes, and then special presentations and luncheons every week with chat with your lawyer. So a lot of different activities over there. If you're not aware of it, take a look at it and see if you're interested. You stop by as a guest if you want to check it out. Some of the things they got coming up, I wanted to point out, they got a casino trip coming up in January 22nd at the Jan Hard Rock Casino in Rockford, Illinois. For those that like to gamble a little bit, it's a great trip, day trip up there. Also wanted to make you aware that, again, they're going to be offering the income tax preparation assistance over at the Senior Center. And that's going to begin, you can start registering and signing up beginning January 2nd at the Al Haddendorf Center if you're interested in that, need any help signing up for those activities. So check out, there's all kinds of stuff in the brochure. I highly recommend you go through it and go over there and check it out in the wintertime here if you haven't had a chance. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Cook.
Hey, Tom, you talked about the gambling, and it's kind of a weird subject. You know, we're Parks and Recreation. But I do want the community to at least think how I think. All right, so you can go to Hard Rock in Rockford and gamble. Or if you gamble in Elk Grove or you come into Elk Grove, you have all these places, all the restaurants that offer the gaming, all the Dottie's, the Violets, the Lucy's, whatever, and you can gamble there. But I always ask, why wouldn't you go to Fox Run, where we have it? Because to me, you know, I hope everybody wins, but we know that's not the truth. So the odds are you're gonna lose. You maybe have an hour's worth of enjoyment, 2 hours, whatever. But you leave by putting $20 into the machine, $50, whatever it is. When you do it at one of these other places, whoever owns the place, and God knows there's corporations that own these individual places, they take the profit. But if you gamble at Fox Run, every dollar that we take in profit gets reinvested right into the golf course. There is no profit. Yes?
A percentage.
No, whatever our profits. No, I'm saying our
okay.
profits.
I thought you meant every
Yes, yeah,
dollar
yes.
that those machines profit, we get it all. We do
No,
that.
no.
Right.
At the end, our profits, which actually come to, this year might be good, 50 to 60,000, or same thing.
Is it like
Over a
30
5-year
cents on the
period, you're
dollar?
talking about $250,000.
Yes, sir.
And again, we're open at, you know, at 7 in the morning. We don't have hours on. If the golf course is open, the gaming machines are open. But I always figured, if people don't know about it, well, let your money stay in Elk Grove Village, or let it stay within the Park District if you don't really care where you play. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, Pavilion Committee, Commissioner O'Malley.
Nothing was scheduled, same thing. Tom and I will get together with Tiffany and schedule something in January. We want to have it done before the state conferences at the end of January, so that's it.
All right. Staff reports in no particular order. Whoever wants to go can go. Mark?
I just wanted to give an update on the 3 projects that I've got, 3 significant products that I've got here. First off, the driving range project has started as of early November. It's actually going really well. They've been doing a lot of concrete work. They'll be back next week as the concrete cures to do some asphalt work, site utilities, and masonry that has to get done around the perimeter of the building. So that's going well. They're scheduled to finish somewhere around the end of the year, early January. The Marshall Park Musco lighting is scheduled to be completed for the end of the year. All the underground electric work has been completed, and the equipment is all on site. The contractors are working on a couple of projects. As soon as they wrap those up, they'll be on site to wrap ours up. And then we already discussed the Marshall Park pickleball project. I have the updated schedule that I can share with you if you'd like.
I do have a question. Can you just let the community know the ice rinks, the locations, and when they're gonna be?
Yeah, so the guys have been working really hard. After we set up the holiday lights, they automatically go right to setting up the ice rinks. We have 2 ice rinks that are set up at CAF, Community Athletic Fields. One is a big rink that's kind of dedicated for hockey, and then there's a smaller rink that they can do just free skating. And then we have another rink over at Mead Park. This year we put it inside the inline rink. It's probably about a little over half of the inline rink is now ice, and should be ready to go as soon as tomorrow. This weather is helping, but then
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday is gonna creep back up on us.
Does Mead have lights there?
Yeah, the
That's what I
inline
thought,
rink,
right?
the inline rink is
Inline.
lit up.
Yeah.
So it actually is nice because it used to be in the baseball field. We moved it over to the inline rink, so
Yeah.
those lights are specific for the inline rink.
Right, okay. Anything for Mark?
Well, I just want to mention that we moved it based on the input we got from the Mead residents that came to our meeting and talked about asking to take it off the field and bring it in over to the ice rink. So, thank you for their input, and we were able to oblige with that as well.
Okay, Kelly?
Yes. We are currently working on confirming all of our advertisers and sponsors for the coming year. So if there is any business that is listening to the board meeting tonight and you could benefit by partnering with the Park District, by being an advertiser in our quarterly guide or sponsoring one of our many wonderful activities, I would be a great contact for you here at the Park District. And then I also wanted to thank the Roccovinos for their donation this week to the foundation. They made a financial contribution to the foundation, and I'd like to thank them for that. And again, this is a time of giving, so if anybody is interested in making a donation, the Elk Grove Parks Foundation is a 501c3, and a lot of our funding goes back strictly to the members of the community in need of financial assistance for Park District programming. So if there's anybody that could use some help financially to participate in our programs, you can reach out to customer service. And on the other hand, if there's somebody who would like to make a financial donation to the foundation, you would also receive a letter for tax purposes at the end of the year. So thank you very much.
Very good. Brad?
No report.
Wow, that's awesome. Tiffany?
I'm gonna let my written report stand, but I do want to give a couple special shout outs. So I wanted to just congratulate my leisure services team on an incredible 2024 year. And I also wanted to say thank you to all of our supporting departments, parks, marketing, business services. And then just a special thank you to all of our residents, participants, and members that were with us in 2024.
Thank you. On that note, I did get my brochure today, and I did pick it up. I haven't gone through it in a while, but I did thumb through it. It is truly amazing how much this park district offers the public. It's insane. And I would be remiss to say that the commissioners sit up here and we drive some, hey, we'd like to see this, we'd like to see that, but realistically, that pamphlet or that booklet should tell you all you want to know about the Elk Grove Park District staff. It's amazing, truly amazing. And I'll leave you with this. We got a 9 out of 10 on approval rating, this district did, this year from our residents. And then we like to sit up here, we get to be seen on TV, but realistically, man, the whole Park District staff did an unbelievable job. We had a fantastic year, and I personally thank you all, so. That's it for committees, right? Or any questions for Tiffany? And then Ben?
No report.
What the? Okay, old business.
Yeah, I just have one piece, John. You can pass this down. This is just a purchase gas adjustment rates, and give one to Brad.
Are we circling back?
No, not really. What I want to actually talk about, that's just a small example, is, outside of the Park District, private industry, different corporations, after they make certain decisions, there's either a post-analysis or a post-critique, and I always wondered sometimes, we as commissioners or even as staff, when do we ever go back and find out if we made a good decision or we didn't make a good decision?
So why don't you give the previous, so the public knows what we're talking about? Because this is about where we
But I don't really want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is seeing if you or the next president can actually come up with a meeting, like once or twice a year, pick the, it's 5 or 6 items that we made a decision on, because sometimes I want to see what we did good and the direction we went in, but we're going to keep going down the same path if sometimes we rush our decisions without all the information. And like I said, Brad needed some information. He wanted to sign this 3-year contract. So all I did is, I personally felt we were a little bit rushed on, hurry up, our contract's expiring to get this natural gas. And I went online, and I thought I knew this anyway, but it does confirm it, that, there's a humongous price difference from year to year and month to month, and it's lower right now, and it's not to say, because who knows what it's going to be in a couple of years. But if we just said yes, which we did, and we never look at this again for 3 years, everybody feels like we made the right decision. And what I'd like to do is every now and then go back and say, hey, you didn't make the right decision, next time let's do this. And this is not an example on that. It's just any of our decisions. We purchased something. I swear to God, I wish I could go back on the pavilion pool, therapy pool, things like that. I wish I didn't vote for some things 5 and 10 years down the line. And it doesn't seem like we have enough evaluation or enough discussion to maybe change opinions or what information we're looking for as we move forward. So that's my goal, is to, Get the feedback from the residents, get it from staff, have staff present, and then find something that may, not so much was controversial, but something that we can have concrete evidence and say, boy, we missed this. We'll praise ourselves and say we did a really good job. But I personally don't think we do enough of it, that's all.
I think the numbers this year kind of pan out this year, that everybody did a really good job. But I know what you're saying, like, if you want to pick one or two, or, you know, things from here, I mean, you don't have to talk to me about it, because I get what you're saying, but I don't know
I'm just talking
how I
about-
would get there.
Well,
I'm not saying I'm against it, I
With
just-
discussion, that's all.
Yeah.
You know, and the next time we do a 5 million, like we're getting ready to do Rainbow Falls expansion for 5 or 6 million, I shouldn't say.
Well, rehab.
Expansion, redo.
Yeah.
Okay, we should learn some of our lessons on what keeps breaking down over at the therapy pool, what didn't draw people at aquatics, what is expensive, and maybe try to avoid that, even though it's a big thrill to the residents, it ends up being a big drain. Things like that,
Well,
that's
there-
all.
I get what you're saying. But you pass out the gas rates. Is there anything on this you wanted to touch base on, or this was just an example?
This is an
Okay.
example so
I got
that
you.
I think, based on this example, that we could have done better. That's all.
And I will contradict that, saying we did better, right? So if you remember, Brad came to us, agreed, it was rushed. I'm not gonna deny that, but it still needed to be done, right?
No, we had
So
6
he
months
came
to
to
do it.
us and
We
he
had 6
said, hey,
months.
listen, I can lock our gas rates in for cheaper than we've been paying for the last 3 years. And I argued, and we had enough votes to say, well, in my mind, that's a savings that I can grasp onto. If we wanted to wait and play it like the commodity that it is, we could have paid, triple's a little too much, but we could have paid more. So I understand what you're saying, but I will say, like, anytime I can guarantee a rate that's beneficial to the park district, I would do it. But I get what you're saying, because if we'd have waited another month, it'd have gone down a little further.
Correct.
I get you.
And it'd be nice to have a lot more historical data. And if I could have waited and maybe printed out this, maybe we wouldn't have voted on it on that particular day, that's all.
I got you. Okay, any other old business? All right, we're getting close here. Adoption of ordinance number 448, an ordinance for the levy of an assessment of taxes of the Elk Grove Park District and the Board of Park Commissioners of Elk Grove Park District, Cook County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2024, and ending December 31st, 2024.
I move for the adoption of ordinance number 448.
Motion, second. Can we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Biedke?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
President Walls?
I am a yes. Adoption of ordinance 449. An ordinance abating the tax heretofore levied for the year 2024 to pay the principal and interest on our general obligation tax park bonds, Series 2020B of the Elk Grove Park District, Cook, DuPage Counties of Illinois. Motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Biedke?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. Payment of the bills, November 15th, 2024, in the amount of $51,093.90. November 22nd, 2024, in the amount of $499,034.88. And December 6th, 2024, in the amount of $279,210.64. I need a motion in a second.
So move.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Biedke?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. Now I need a motion and a second to adjourn to closed session for the purposes of discussing personnel 2C1, in particular, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or specific volunteers of the public body or legal counsel for the public body.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes, Francis.
Commissioner Biedke?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes, this meeting is adjourned.